Alright, what's up, nerds? My name's Drogdor, and I've got a super exciting video that I've been putting off for a very long time, but I'm still very excited to record. This is my draft analysis for my team in this super new and awesome league called the NSTL. I am the commissioner of the, the Vancouver Tapu Konucks, which you've seen me representing in that other league. I've been uploading on my channel, but this is my first time of actually using this team and drafting my own team and starting off the season completely fresh. This is with a super cool bunch of people. There are going to be lots of links in the description for everyone else in the league. So I'm gonna quickly go over how the draft was working and stuff. This was a PPL style points draft, which is way better than tier draft. I don't know why people do those anymore. So we're given a certain budget. Each mon was priced individually, and we were allowed to choose 9 to 11. I think it was 9 to 11 based on the given budget. So it's the most expensive Pokemon being things like Mega Mawile and Aegislash are 19 points. And the cheap things are your meme picks, one stage evolutions and things not on the board for 1 point. And we're given a total of 120 points, so you can make a pretty solid team with that. And there are a lot of powerhouses on the in the roster, so a lot of people got really fascinating picks with this, and yeah, lots of great teams. And I'm gonna go over mine. So let's get right into it. I started out with Zygarde, 50%. I was 8th in the draft, so my first 2 to 3 choices didn't quite make it to me. Those being Aegislash went first pick, Mega Mawile went right before me, Jirachi was on the board, but I was kind of on the fence about it. So I'm super glad that I picked up Zygarde because a couple other people later in the draft wanted it. And for some reason in my brain I thought oh, I can grab it I don't know, second round, but no, that wasn't going to happen. So I'm super glad that I got Zygarde. Absolute behemoth, worth every, I don't know what currency we're using. Even if it was worth 18 bitcoins, it would be worth all 18 of those bitcoins. Super bulky. It's got 1,000 arrows. It's got decent speed, lots of setup, substitute, Dragon Dance, coil. It's just a monster. People have been using this in the draft league since it got better in 7th gen, and wow, yeah, just wow. So pairing with Zygarde, I grabbed, why is this not working? Why is this? I'm supposed to go to the next slide, right? Yeah, I thought so. Technical difficulties, please stand by. Okay, I'm back. I was going to pick number 2, and we got Tapu Bulu. Also going to be known as Tapu YOLO. My logic behind this was it was the best fairy on the board, in my opinion, and I could get it. It's an absolute behemoth, grass and fairy typing, an absolute steal for 15 points, in my opinion. I've got the third of my Dragon Fairy Steel core. I like to draft those initially, and the first part of a Fire, Water, Grass core. Those are also really good. And looking back on it, aside from their overlapping ice weakness, Tapu Bulu and Zygarde are incredibly good together. Both absolute powerhouses, both really bulky, obviously versatile, because when you're drafting, that's all you want to get are things that are versatile. And Tapu Bulu just complements it so well that at first I just picked it because oh, it's cool and stuff. I've never used it personally, but looking at all the things that it has available, all the amazing sets that it can run is just amazing, and I'm so glad that I was able to pick up Tapu Bulu. And then complementing Bulu, somehow this made it to me. I got Heatran, so I'm running that legendary Bulutran core, which, yeah, this got to me somehow, and people let me take it, and that was great. I'm personally not the biggest fan of Heatran. It's just kind of, Earthquake, but it just complements my my team so far extremely well. It's got that steel typing, so I've got that first core that I wanted. It's a fire type, resists that, what do you call it, that ice, beam that hits everything. So aside from so far, the only thing that like sweeps me is Mamoswine, but Mamoswine sweeps every team in the entire world. Super good special attack, really bulky across the board. Speed is underwhelming, but it can still run, you know, good scarf sets and like subsets and whatever. Pretty good value at 16. I get rocks, I get trapping, I get roar. Just a lot of really good stuff going on with Heatran, and my team is like really like well complementing one another. The grassy terrain from Tapu Bulu like really nerfs Earthquake. I still wouldn't be wanting to take a lot of hits, but everything's like weaknesses are just really well covered for my first three picks. So I'm sitting pretty, and I didn't have like a list by list plan of what I wanted, but I wanted to get a solid first few things that from there I can just like, okay, I see that thing, it's good, it can fit my team really well. So next up, I went with Gyarados. I was debating getting Mega Gyarados right away, but looking at things, you know, I would have preferred the Intimidate factor and the Flying type. If I had the option of not Mega, of like waiting a couple turns to Mega, I would have absolutely stuck with Mega Gyarados, but I wanted regular Gyarados for the Flying type, for the Intimidate, and just its all-around really fantastic stats. I'm now immune to Earthquake. I now have a Fire, Water, Grass core, albeit, you know, not the best one, but it can be bulky and offensive either way, both of these. So Gyarados is, you know, a really great setup sweeper. It has Intimidate. It's got very powerful Waterfall, quite bulky with a 95, 79, 100 bulk. And it's just one of my favorite Pokemon to use. It's my favorite Pokemon if that wasn't super obvious at this point, but it's super great to use, and I love Gyarados. So now I'm looking at my team, and there's like a couple things that I'm missing. I'm missing some natural speed. I'm much more like physical heavy than special heavy, and I like to have that a little bit more balanced. I really wanted like a fast electric type, but some of the good ones were gone, and I'm still liking a Mega. So I thought to myself, hey, this thing is 13 points. Why don't I grab Mega Manectric? So people looked at this pick and they're like, eh, and I was like, well, not. It's amazing, actually. I've got a dual Intimidate core, base 135 speed, 135 special attack. Bulk is really whatever, but I thought this was just a steal for 13 points, considering how well it fit my team. Now, like I said, I didn't have like an absolute plan. I was just picking things that fit well, and this just so happens to fit perfectly. So now my first three choices were really solid together. Gyarados complemented them very well, and Mega Manectric continues to complement them like really well. Like I said, the Intimidate core, the speed, my stats are pretty well balanced, and I've got another ground weakness, but that's again mitigated by the grassy terrain, and Gyarados switches into those like no problem. And yeah, I'm actually very happy with this pick. I'm gonna be nicknaming my Manectric King Kitan. Shout out to my bros who know Gurren Lagann. Anyway, now I just looked at the board and I was like, hey, I can just, you know, grab stuff that I think looks cool. So I grabbed Hariyama. I've never really used this thing much, but it's actually kind of amazing. Mono fighting type with a thick fat ability, I can switch into a lot of things. 144 HP, that is really, really nice. It's super bulky, decent attack stat, and, you know, I've got priority, I've got fake out, I've got belly drum, and I even get the tech in the whirlwind. So at 8 points, I actually thought this was really great value. Definitely needed a fighting type on my team. I'm actually going to make this one of my Z users. The point system for that is like I get 25 points. I can, you know, this would cost me 8 points to make it a Z user, so I thought, you know what? The fighting MZ, like from close combat, will just wreck anything, or I could just do my Z belly drum set and get full HP, and that plus Mach Punch could be a win con in certain circumstances. So I was actually pretty cool with this. Yeah, I just wanted a fighting type. Hariyama was super bulky, and it works nicely. So next up I got Cloyster, and this is you know, not the most exciting pick in the world, but I've got a I wanted an ice type for Ice Shard because that can, win you games sometime. Um, at 8 points, it was pretty good value. I've got a super huge defense stat, decent offensive stats, so that paired with the Shell Smash is pretty cool. I, can set up, get Ice Shard. It's got a kind of okay move pool for what it needs to do. And I've got the Rapid Spin and some Hazard Stack. So I'm going to be using a lot of spikes on this boy. I think what it comes to is this is going to be my only spinner. Because, well, actually after I picked Hariyama, I looked at Hitmontop and I was like, oh, I could have gotten that instead of Hariyama. But you know what? Whatever. The spin would have been cool. So I wanted something with the spin. That plus Ice Shards plus Shell Smash. I thought Cloyster was really cool. And, some people I've done front office work for had drafted Cloyster, and it's actually really fun to build with, and I'm a huge fan of building with Cloyster. And next up, I got Cofagrigus. Really cool ghost type mono ghost. Super slow, but with pretty respectable defensive stats. 58, 145, 105. That makes it a valuable candidate for Pain Split. 10 points is... I think good value on this because it can be a potential win con. It's got the Trick Room and Calm Mind. It's got, can do a pretty interesting Rest Talk set. And I really just wanted a Ghost type to switch into certain things. And Mummy is such a fantastic ability. That means now Mega Lopunny can't beat me. Which is, always a great thing to have. Something that Mega Lopunny can't beat. So I'm nearing the end of my draft, I believe. This is I had my first 4 and then 5, 6, 7. This is pick number 8. So I believe if my maths are correct, I've got 18 budget left, which means I can get 2 kind of okay things, or 1 big boy, and then a meme pick. Now, at this point I've decided, you know what? I want to pick Yanma as my last pick, because that'll be actually really cool. Getting that for 1 point would just be, a steal, because I've got speed boost, can make it a Z user. I've got the Bug Buzz, and I really like using Yanmega, so a 1 point mini Yanmega or a just regular Yanma, that would be amazing. Then in the draft chat, I saw people starting to talk about it. It's like, oh, wouldn't it be funny if one of us got Yanma for 1 point? And I thought, uh-oh, I better pick it quick, because I'm actually afraid of it being sniped, and I'm still not sure what I want to use my last 17 points on. So I got Yanma, my Apache attack helicopter, for 1 point with 95 speed, 75 special attack, and I'm going to make it a Z user without a doubt. Speed boost and tinted lens, I believe it has, and just for as like a throwaway meme pick, I don't think you can beat this. This is probably the best 1 point that you can spend, or at least that I could, given what my team has, and believe it or not, I'm happy with this pick. So I'm looking at my team, and I just want something that can potentially do some hazard removal, has a respectable speed stat, because my only fast thing is Mega Man Electric right now, not counting setup and speed boosts. I've got a lot of things that can set up speed, and of course Yanma has speed boost, but my next fastest things after Manectric are Yanma and Zygarde, so I wanted something plus 100. I wanted a little bit more special bulk and something with defog. So I managed to snag, for my very last pick, Latias. Latias and Zygarde are scary together. Prove me wrong. With the Dragon Psychic type, I do get a lot of compound weaknesses, but that's okay. I've got Levitate, so it pairs well with some other things of mine. It can run so many sets. It can be bulky. It can be offensive. It has the defog. It has the stats that I wanted. And the fact that it was still on the board and I was able to pick it up as my 10th and last pick, that was just amazing. So Latias is coming in. I've got a dual Dragon Core, and it's going to be extremely scary for my opponents to prep for this. So now I've finished my draft, and I'm super happy with it. I've got 10 Pokemon, all of which are things that I'm more or less comfortable using. I've built with most of them before. I've got some of my favorite Pokemon there, like Gyarados. I've got Setup, which I love. I've got Immediate Offense. I've got Immediate Bulk. And my Z users are Gyarados, Hariyama, and Yanma. Gyarados, of course, because I can use an offensive flying move, and I get some interesting status choices as well. Hariyama for aforementioned, like fighting Neum, fighting Neum Z for that insanely powerful close combat, as well as Belly Drum. And Yanma because I had the points left over, and I can get a surprise, like, I think it's Corkscrew Crash. No, that's the Steel type. Whatever the Bug Z move is, can just do a lot of damage too. Anything after I get like +2 speed. So I'm pretty happy with this draft. All my opponents have pretty scary teams as well. I'll start going over those like as I do team builders. But for my week 1, I'm up against a pretty scary team. Stay tuned for the team builder on that one. It'll be, you know, my next in the series of the NSTL. So yeah, subscribe if you want to see more of that content. It's going to be some great battles. I will be uploading these regularly every week, unlike my other series, which has been kind of sporadic based on how I feel about it. But this one I'm going to be very, like, get things done as they come out. So super happy with this draft. Comment if you have any questions or concerns about it, or why I got certain things. Subscribe for more, of course, and like this video if, I don't know, you're a cool person and want to give me a virtual hug. So that does it for me. Like I said, I'm super excited about this league. My name's Trogdor, and I'm the commissioner of the Vancouver Tapu Konucks. And please stay tuned for more of my content with this league and this team. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.